It is 4:30 in the morning. You are on Hiryu's flight deck in the dark. The wind is warm and smells like aviation fuel. Your hands are slick with it. You've been hauling aircraft into launch position for 30 minutes, pushing tail wheels across the deck with 8 other men. The prop wash from 200 warming engines is strong enough to knock you sideways. You are a flight deck crewman aboard one of 4 fleet carriers in the Kido Butai, Japan's first carrier striking force. Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, and your ship, Hiryu. The same carriers that hit Pearl Harbor 6 months ago. Midway is a tiny atoll 1,300 miles northwest of Hawaii. 2 islands, 1 airstrip, surrounded by open Pacific in every direction. Japan wants it as a forward base to threaten Hawaii, but the atoll is bait. The real prize is what's left of the American fleet. One more decisive victory, and the Americans will have no carriers left in the Pacific. The Americans know you are coming. Codebreakers at Pearl Harbor cracked the Japanese naval code weeks before the battle. They know the target. They know the date. They know how many ships you're bringing. 3 American carriers are already in position northeast of the atoll, waiting. Every man on your flight deck thinks this is a surprise attack. It is, just not in the way you think. At 4:30, 108 planes launch. The strike leader is Lieutenant Joichi Tominaga, flying off your ship. You watch his torpedo bomber climb into the pre-dawn sky and bank south toward Midway. It is the last time you will see him take off with a plane that can bring him home. At 7 o'clock, Tominaga's strike hits Midway. The atoll burns, but the airfield is still working, and Tominaga radios back. There is need for a second attack wave. You hear the order before you understand it. Swap the reserve torpedoes for land bombs, hit Midway again. You go below. The hangar deck is hot and reeks of avgas. You and your crew start unjacking a torpedo from the belly of a Kate bomber. 4 men to lower a 1-ton weapon onto a hand-pushed dolly, wheel it to the elevator, send it down, then the bomb comes up the same way. 25 minutes per squadron. You are halfway through when the order changes. Enemy ships sighted. One appears to be a carrier. New order. Stop. Swap back to torpedoes. The hangars are a disaster. Bombs halfway mounted, torpedoes halfway struck below. Weapons on dollies everywhere, lined up against the bulkheads because there's no time to put them back in the magazines. You look at the ordnance stacked around you, bombs, torpedoes, fuel lines running above your head, armed aircraft 3 feet away. You know what this is. You just don't have a word for it yet. Topside, your Admiral, Rear Admiral Tamon Yamaguchi, signals Vice Admiral Nagumo on Akagi. Consider it advisable to launch attack force immediately. Send the dive bombers now before the Americans find you. Namugo says no. Full escort, standard doctrine. Yamaguchi studied at Princeton. He was the last Japanese naval attaché in Washington. He is widely considered Yamamoto's eventual replacement, but he follows orders for now. At 8:47, Tomonaga's planes start coming home. Shot up, trailing smoke. The engines sound wrong. Rough, stuttering. You can smell the burnt oil before the first one enters the landing pattern. The flight deck has to be cleared to recover them. It takes until 9:17. 2 hours of preparing, canceling, and reversing a strike, and the hangars are still full of loose ordnance that never went back to the magazines. The American torpedo bombers find you first. You are refueling a Zero when the anti-aircraft guns open up. You flatten yourself against the deck and watch. 3 waves between 9:18 and 10:15. Slow, low, straight at the fleet. The Zeros tear them apart. The first squadron loses all 15 planes, everywhere. The second wave loses 10 of 14. The third, 10 of 12. Not a single torpedo hits a Japanese ship. Not one. You watch American planes falling into the sea for nearly an hour, trailing fire, cartwheeling on impact. The Zeros are chasing the last stragglers at sea level, and the sky above the carriers is wide open, blue and empty. That is the last good minute of your war. 10:22. A lookout aboard Kaga screams. You hear it a half second later. Dots. High. Coming down. American dive bombers, 50 of them, 14,000 feet. There are no Zeros up there. The torpedo attacks pulled every fighter to the surface, and nobody sent them back up. 4 minutes. That is how long it takes. Kaga goes first. 4 bombs into the hangars, 1 hits the bridge and kills the captain and most of his staff. You hear it from Hiryu's deck. A rolling boom you feel in your teeth, then a column of black smoke a mile and a half to starboard. Soryu, 3 bombs. Captain Ryusaka Yanagimoto refuses to leave the bridge. A wrestling champion is sent to drag him off. He finds the captain on the signal platform, sword drawn, singing the national anthem alone. He cannot bring himself to touch him. Akagi, 1 bomb, that's all. It hits the amidships elevator and detonates in the upper hangar. Among the ordnance you and men like you stacked on dollies 2 hours ago because there was no time to put it away. 1 bomb. The loose ordnance does the rest. You are standing on Hiryu watching 3 carriers burn at the same time. A mechanic named Sato is standing to your left. He served on Akagi before transferring to Hiryu last month. He is watching his old ship die. A wrench slips from his hand. He does not pick it up. 3 carriers, 4 minutes. And there's nothing you can do about any of it. Yamaguchi does not wait. He launches 18 dive bombers at the Yorktown. You watch them go and count them when they come back. 13 do not. 3 bombs hit, she stops dead. Then he sends Tomonaga, the same Tomonaga who led the Dawn attack. His port wing fuel tank was punctured over Midway and cannot be repaired. Ground crews can only fuel the starboard tank. He has enough fuel to reach the Americans. He does not have enough to come back. He is offered a different aircraft. He refuses. You are standing near the tail when the engine starts. You can smell the exhaust. You can see him through the canopy. He does not look at anyone. 10 torpedo bombers, 6 zeros. Tomonaga bores in on the Yorktown from the port quarter. His wing catches fire. He holds the run, drops his torpedo, then his plane crashes into the Pacific. 2 torpedoes hit the Yorktown. She will never sail again. 5 bombers make it back. 2 are still flyable. 2 planes. 12 hours ago, your fleet had 248. The dive bombers, the elevator blown vertical, the hangars a furnace. You fight fires for hours, smoke so thick you cannot see your own hands. Sato is in the chain beside you. He has not spoken since the morning. At 9:23, the engines stop. The ship is dead. Late that night, Yamaguchi assembles the survivors, 800 men, on a burning flight deck. The deck is hot under your feet. The air tastes like smoke and fuel oil. He and Captain Tomio Kaku stand near the bridge. Kaku takes responsibility for the loss of Hiryu. Yamaguchi takes responsibility for both Hiryu and Soryu. I command all of you to leave the ship and continue your loyal service to His Majesty the Emperor. The crew shouts Banzai 3 times, facing west toward Tokyo. The flag comes down. Kamigayo plays one last time. He removes his cap and hands it to his staff officer to be delivered to his family. He sends a final message to Namugo. I have no words to apologize for what has happened. I only wish for a stronger Japanese navy and revenge. Captain Kaku turns to him. I'm going to share the fate of the ship, sir. They share naval biscuits and water. No sake. They ate biscuits and they looked at the moon. Let us enjoy the beauty of the moon, one of them says. How bright it shines, the other replies. It must be in its 21st day. It was. Destroyers come alongside. You board with the others. You do not look back for a long time. When you do, Yamaguchi and Kaku are still standing on the burning flight deck, waving their caps. The next morning, a torpedo is fired to scuttle Hiryu. It is not enough. She stays afloat. A scout plane photographs her. The elevator is still standing against the bridge like a gravestone. She finally sinks, bow first, at 9:12. But 70 crewmen, sealed below the waterline, never got the order to abandon ship. 39 of them fought their way topside and made it into the ship's cutter moments before she went under. They drifted for 14 days. On June 19th, the seaplane Tender Ballard pulled 35 men out of the Pacific. They became the only reason the Allies ever learned how Japanese carriers actually worked. The Battle of Midway killed roughly 3,057 Japanese sailors. It sank all 4 carriers. It destroyed 248 aircraft. But only about 110 of those dead were pilots. The rest were mechanics, the armorers, the ordnance handlers, the flight deck crews, men like you. They are dead. You are not. When you reach port, nobody is waiting. The battle is classified as a victory. You are taken to a base in southern Japan and told you cannot leave. You cannot write home. You cannot tell anyone what happened. The Navy does not want the country to know that 4 carriers are gone. Weeks pass. Then you are sent directly to the front. No leave, no family visit. The men who survived Midway are scattered across the Pacific as fast as the Navy can move them. Sent to places where nobody will ask where they came from. You survived the bombs. You survived the fire. You survived 14 hours on a dying carrier. That doesn't mean that you made it out.